Hello there. I thought I would make a quick tutorial talking about how to copy a building from one bedrock server to another. A while ago now, I had my own little server on Shockbyte here. That I set up and ran quite happily for a while, invited people to join and had a whole load of fun. Let's see if I can find the website I set up for it. Here we go. So we had lots of fun building buildings and towns and stuff, and creating a little area for people to come and play on the server with us. You can see here we had all manner of interesting buildings. Command blocks and block dispensers and all sorts of clever stuff. And yeah, it was quite a nice server. We had lots of fun. There's a little parkour. All sorts of things were built as time went by. Unfortunately, eventually it got trashed, and many of these buildings were lost as a result. And then I discontinued the server after all the players left. But I'd always wanted to sort of copy some of the buildings that were made from before and after, and sort of create a kind of mixed world with them all in together. Sort of undoing all the damage that was done, and taking some of the best creations from the early days and the middle of the server's life and towards the end, and putting them all together. Now, I've seen a number of videos on YouTube when I was looking at how to do it, and I never quite managed to achieve it when I tried at the time. For one reason or another, I hit stumbling blocks and eventually gave up. But my server over on Shockbyte made regular backups of the world. So here you can see I've got the original, later on, and then the trashed broken one. The tutorials on YouTube, it seemed, talked about how to sort of put them into an add-on pack. You have to download this pile of files and then make them a zip and rename them and sort of import them. Quite a complex sort of process. And what I found was you can take these worlds from your installation of the Bedrock server, or whatever server you use, such as Pocket Mine or so on. You would always have a worlds folder with them in, and you can copy that into your local copy of Minecraft. Bedrock, obviously running on Windows. You can literally just drag and drop the world file that you would find in the server backup here into your own local sort of game folder, which lurks in your C drive, users, your username, AppData, local packages, Microsoft Minecraft, and then a sort of serial number, LocalState games, com.mojang, minecraftWorlds. And here you can see I've copied these early, later, and trashed worlds into mine here. So, the way you would copy a building is using what's called a structure block. Now, when I tried it before, you had to mark the corners around the structure in the world using creative mode, and then that was meant to export a MC structure file that you could then re-import on another server. It proved quite clunky to do, and I never quite got it working. But with this latest sort of setup running locally, I did manage to copy the building successfully. And as I thought I hadn't found any YouTube videos really that demonstrated that method of doing it, I thought I would make one. So if we log into Minecraft, you can see all my various worlds here in date order. So this one at the bottom was the early world from the server that I'm trying to import. Now, obviously, it'll ask me to, if I want to update it, which I do, otherwise it won't work. Give it a while, and it will load in the original state, as it were. So here we are. And in fact, this is the trashed world, sorry. And you can see it's in survival mode. So if you wanted to copy your world, the first thing to do before you can copy a building from this world is to go into creative mode. Now, once you're in creative mode, you can zip around and see the world. Here you can see the carnage that was wrought on this world. I believe there was, as I remember, another house somewhere over this way, but I've never quite found it on this one. If I remember correctly, there was a little redstone railway track that someone built over here. It runs halfway across the world to a village. Anyway, let's go back and try and find that early one that I mentioned before it was trashed. It should be copy of world there, I reckon. Maybe not. Perhaps it's just world. Here we are. Now, again, creative mode. So let's say we want to export a house from this world. Well, you need to have the structure block. Here it is, which is /give space @p space structure underscore block. And there it is. Now, you put this on top of the building you want to export, thus, and then hit it. And you can see a preview of what you're going to be exporting. And in my case, I already know the parameters for this, which is about 50 in every direction, then minus 25. And then what you see is a little preview of what you're about to export. Looking quite sort of nice. This particular house was built by a player called Eliza Cat, who joined the server early on. So I'm going to call it Eliza's house. And then you hit save. And that's saved. And then you export it, and it will give you a little file to save. So, what's next? Well, we can leave this server and then jump to the world we want to import it into. Fairly painless so far. So here we can see the same world a little later, but before it was completely trashed. Again, it's in survival mode, so we need to switch to creative before we can do anything, with /gamemode space creative. There we go. And that allows us to fly around. And you can see that the players built a parkour. There's my original sort of starting base that I built. And some command blocks with block dispensers and things that Tech Boy built to help people build their houses. And there was even a little shop. At this point, I think the shop has been trashed on this server. Let me just see if the other one is better. Could be this one here. Switch it to creative mode. Yeah, this is before it had been trashed, so you can't walk in the back of the shop here. There's a whole load of hidden stuff. There's a door you can't get into. So, had you wanted to, you would have to come in the shop. You can see the players were leaving messages for each other with signs. And generally sort of getting annoyed. I think the shop had even been broken at this point, to be honest. But most of the server is still here as it was. Someone built this little ride here that you can go sailing along. And I believe there's a base over there in the mountains. That's what I wanted to do. And you can see that you can fly along and do your thing. Anyway, should we get back to what we were doing? So, with the command blocks, we need a structure block on this world. So, /give space @p space structure underscore block gives you the command block, which gives it to my player here, and then you can position your block. And to load, you go into load and import. And this is the bit that didn't work within the Bedrock server when you ran it locally, running the backup of the world. That was always grayed out, so you couldn't import the exported structure. It turns out the solution was as simple as copying it into your local folder for minecraftWorlds on your Minecraft install. And then you can grab that structure and say where you want to put it. Now I found about -8 seems to be the sort of right height for that particular model. And then you just load it in. And it should, if we're lucky, appear over here. As you can see, here's the house from the other world loaded in. A little bit low. Probably -7 would have been the better one to go for. The command block can be removed from the top, but for all intents and purposes, that structure has been imported. Once you've successfully imported your structure, should we try again? Do -7, see what that looks like. look much better, really, does it? But yeah, once you've successfully imported it and positioned it where you want it within your game world, then you can save out, quit, and close down Minecraft, and take that world from your local Minecraft folder here. So we find the file that we last used, and you would just simply copy that back into your Bedrock server folder. And it seems to think it's this one. So in that case, you would go to your Bedrock folder and just drop that in there. Remembering to, of course, update your local server properties to point to that particular world. Lurking in here somewhere. Is the world. Don't know if I can see it at the moment. Oh, there you go. Level name world. So in my case, that would become Trashed World. Then you just save that and go and spin up your server. And you should see it loading Trash World. And that's it. You can then enjoy playing with the buildings that you've imported on your server. And that's the same sort of situation if you're using your Shockbyte hosting, for example. You just upload the new world into the worlds folder, edit the server properties to use that, and away you go. Quick, simple, and no fuss, really. None of this messing around making some kind of add-on pack that loads up when you spin up the Minecraft or anything like that. Just jump straight in and away you go. If you've enjoyed this video, maybe leave me a comment. One day I might re-spin up the old server with all the buildings replaced into a world on my old domain name perhaps, and invite everyone to join in. But at the moment that's something for another day. Goodbye.